All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Smooth Life Podcast. I'm your host, Reek, and it's a podcast where we talk about people's experiences, where they currently are, and where they currently try to head to within life, career, and entrepreneurship. Let me go ahead and introduce my guest. She grew up in Kent. Is it how you pronounce it? I've been trying
Kingstree, Cades,
to.
Kingstree area.
Okay, Cades, South Carolina, and grew up from Kingstree High School. She has a bachelor's degree in business and also has a background in IT, where she's worked for over 10 years. Also served in the U.S. Army Reserve veteran and continue to serve today. She believes the ultimate purpose in life is to serve, whether it's in your home, community, church, or country. Serve is the goal. She was blessed with a beautiful, vibrant, witty, and energetic 5 year old daughter. She is a heart and she loves hers to life. Jesus is the foundation of her life. And at this point in her life, everything is filtered through Him and the Word of God. And she believes all the work in progress and her mission is not complete until God calls us home. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce Deanna. Is it Deanna, right?
Deona, that's right.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, man. How you feeling?
Thank you for having me. I feel good. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You
Good.
nervous? Yeah.
Yes, I am nervous.
I'm pretty sure once we start rolling, you're gonna get comfortable.
Yeah.
All right. So the first question I have for you is, how was your childhood, and where did the inspiration come from starting a business?
Oh, wow. I had a really good childhood, I would say. I grew up in the country. So it was myself, my mom, my dad. I have three siblings that grew up in the house together, two brothers and a sister. I'm the baby of the family, so I was spoiled from a young age. They all have spoiled me over the years. I like that. But I had a really good childhood, and you know, I think the inspiration really comes from my dad.
Hmm.
He started as a truck driver, I think, when he was 16.
Hmm.
And he always his friends would tell stories about he would always say how he's going to have his own business and he was going to do his own thing. So, and that's exactly what he did. He started his own trucking company. He started a diesel maintenance shop down in Cades, and that's what he did until he transitioned last year.
Okay. Okay. So speak on your father business. Was you always like on the road with him when he was doing this?
No, he did long distance truck driving. So as kids, we would in the summertime, we were
Hmm.
able to get in the truck and maybe go on a trip here and there, but we didn't take a whole lot of trips with him. I can recall maybe going as far as Maine and we would go down to Florida every now and then over the summers. But I think it was just more so seeing him be able to do what he set out to do what he accomplished. And I can tell that he took a lot of pride in being able to do that. And he helped a lot of people in our community get started and maintain as well. So that's always been, I think, an inspiration not only to me, but for others just in the area that we grew up in. Cades is a really small town, if you want to call
Hmm.
it that. We have not even a stoplight. There's a flashing light.
Oh,
So, but it's we had a good childhood, it was good.
okay.
We didn't have
Okay.
a whole lot. Our parents worked really hard to give us everything that we had. We didn't have a lot, but we were rich in family. We were rich in community and just values. We had everything we needed. Not everything we
Okay.
wanted, but everything we needed.
Okay. Um, I want to ask you just to continue the conversation we're having now, but I want to ask like in a different question. Just ask like, what does community means to you?
So neighbors
Hmm.
in the sense of um people you can trust, people you can go to, because again, we in Cades, we're in the country, not neighborhoodish like people next door, but we knew people in the surrounding area that we could go to, that could come to us. um and even a lot of family just being around the area, where we would as children go over to my grandparents home and play around with our cousins. We would have sleepovers with our cousins. We grew up, it may have been five, six, seven kids in the house, and we all slept on the floor in front of the TV one night, just having fun at grandma's house, or maybe at an aunt's house or something like that. So community just meaning people that you can trust, people that you can depend on, people that you can look to for guidance, for nurturing, for care when you need it, or and they can do the same to you if they need it.
Okay, okay. How do you build community run in your business?
I would say a lot of the same thing, because being in real estate, and I learned this when I first got into the business. My mentor, she told me real estate is a relationships business, because you have to think about it. Whenever you are helping someone purchase a home or purchase any type of property, it's one of the largest financial transactions many people are going to make in their lifetime. So quite naturally, they're
Hmm.
going to want to do that with someone that they trust. So um, she told me early on, this is a relationships business. Don't think that you're just going to meet somebody one day and
Hmm.
they're just going to want to do a deal with you tomorrow. It happens from time to time, but the bulk of your business is going to come from nurturing people, nurturing leads, and just having relationships with people over a period of time, letting them grow and get to know you, developing a trust, knowing that you know what you're doing and that you care about what they're looking to do as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So is real estate like your first actual business that you ever started, or like?
No, no. Real estate is actually my second business. So I said my dad was a truck driver. So my first business was actually a truck driving company. I did that. I started, I
Okay.
believe, in 2013, and I just stopped that business in 2023. So I did it for 10 years. Had a few trucks on the road, a couple drivers. We did long distance refrigerated hauling on the East Coast. So we did that for a little while. But real estate, I got into real estate in 2016, but I didn't I
Okay.
didn't stay. I just had just a lot going on at the time. I had already started the trucking company. So I just felt like I had too much on my plate. So I did take a step back, and I came back a few years later. But yeah, this is my second actual business venture.
Okay. Okay. So when did the transition started? Like you had to drop the trucking company and you went full time with real estate.
Yeah, well, I had a job at the time too when I was doing, so it was a lot. I had a job doing the trucking company, trying to do real estate and military. So it was just a lot going on at the time. I just
Hmm.
think trucking had ran its course. I kind of I just didn't want to do it anymore. It's a
Hmm.
lot. It's a great business to be in. People do well in it. I did well for a while. At different times I struggled, I guess, just like in any business. But I think I just had to make a decision as to what it was that I really wanted to do.
Hmm.
When I got into real estate, and I took a step back from it the first time, I never let my license go, because I always knew that I wanted to come back. And it was just about making a decision about what I really wanted to do. And I know that trucking was good. It was fun while it lasted. It served me while it lasted. I know a whole lot of truck drivers. It's a great business to be in, but I knew it wasn't something that I wanted to do much longer. So I just started to, step back away from that, and like I said, ultimately shut that down in 2023.
Okay. All right. Tell us
Mhm.
the story of like getting into real estate, like the inspiration behind it.
I've always been interested in real estate, just more as a hobby, I guess, than as a
Hmm.
business. So just even as a younger person, watching the market, looking at homes, it's always been interesting to me. So when the opportunity came about for me to actually get my license back in 2016, it was kind of a no-brainer. I had already had a lot going on, but I still wanted to do it.
Hmm.
Um, and when I was in high school, a gentleman in the military who helped recruited me, actually, he gave me a book. It was the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. I read it. He was heavy in real estate at the time, and he really, I think, planted a seed in me to know that real estate could be something that could have been beneficial to me. And quite honestly, when I look back on it, I went really slow on the information that he gave me. If I had it to do over, I would have moved a lot quicker with it. But
Hmm.
we are where we are now. But I think he really just planted a seed in me to say, well, maybe this is kind of more than a hobby. It could really potentially be a business and something that I could do full time.
Okay. Okay. Now, in your intro, when you said something about the ultimate purpose in life is to serve. So
Mhm.
how do you transition that into real estate as far as serving?
Serving the customers, serving the industry, because unfortunately, people have opinions about agents. So just wanting to ensure that whenever you do come in contact with people, you give them a positive experience, ensuring
Hmm.
that you are placing their interests first, knowing that they can trust you as an agent, that you are knowledgeable in what you're doing. So just ensuring that I can service the transaction, ensuring that I know what I'm doing. If I have questions, that I go and I get the correct answers. If I need to reach out to someone in a different discipline to address the issue, just doing that and just not kind of winging the process and just going through it just to go through it, but making sure you're actually serving the customer and serving the transaction. And in turn, I think whenever we do that, we serve the industry as well, because it just kind of allows people to know that we are professionals and that we are here and we are serving their best interests in the process.
Okay. All right. So walk us through the process of someone wanting to get a home that's like new to being trying to get a home.
Well, it's a decision, first of all. Are you ready?
Hmm.
Are you ready for that responsibility? And I think one of the first things that people need to do is connect with an agent so that we can even have that conversation together, just to kind of gauge where you are in your life, why are you looking to purchase a home at this point, or some type of a property, and kind of look at the things that you have going on financially, and seeing if you are ready to do that, what type of lending resources are available to you, or if you're looking to just buy it out of pocket, what type of properties are you looking for, what's available to you, what is the market looking like in the area that you're looking to purchase in, just to kind of start those conversations, engaging where you are. And from there, we'll take you through the whole process of actually facilitating the transaction.
Okay. All right. So what challenges you had to face during real estate?
Mm. you know I think in business in general, at least for me, the most of the challenges that I've had have always been with myself, not so
Mm.
much industry specific challenges, because and I've done a lot of thinking about this over the years, because I can remember before going into business, I always thought that I was, like a really confident person, and yeah, I can do it, I can do it. But once I got into business and started to actually have to have these things on my shoulders and maneuver through different processes and transactions, even in transportation, working with customers and having employees, I wasn't as confident as I thought I was. And
Mhm.
I always remember the old quote, I don't know where it comes from, but saying that we're not really afraid of our failure, that we're afraid of our success. I think
Mhm.
it's been a little bit of both for me, because I can remember just you know, wanting to do things or wanting to expand, but being afraid that, okay, well, it might not work, and then being afraid that it would work and I wouldn't be able to handle it. So a lot
Mhm.
of it is just the internal work that I had to do on myself, just more so about being confident, the mindset work, about knowing that you can do it, becoming the person who can run the business as opposed to the business really being the problem. And that's something I'm still working on today. Just becoming the version of me that's going to be able to do all the things that I have in mind, to take the business where I want to take it, and to be able to serve the community in the larger I guess spectrum of clientele that I will be able to serve. Just becoming the version of myself that is going to be able to do all the things that I have in mind.
Okay.
That's by far been my biggest challenge.
All right. All right. So for people out there that just starting business, and I want you to what you were just talking about, like you had to build all that up. Like tell them how does that look like building that confidence up to where your mindset is on a whole totally level, different level.
Oh my goodness. I think that process is probably different for a lot of people, but I can just, speak to some of the things that I had to go through. And a lot of it is a lot of releasing the
Mm.
idea of what you had in mind, releasing how you thought it was going
Ooh.
to go, right? Releasing the process, releasing your plan, releasing what people are going to think about you, releasing caring about what they're going to think about you or what they're going to say about you, all those things. And that's work in and of itself. So imagine, you're trying to run a business, but then you're doing all these outside activities, but then you have this whole, it's almost like a battle that's going on internally for you to even be able to show up, to even
Mm-hmm.
do the activities that you need to do for the business. So a lot of releasing, and then a lot of acceptance, accepting that you weren't perfect, accepting that you made some bad decisions, accepting that the person that was supposed to take care of you in this particular situation just didn't, accepting that you didn't know everything you needed to know going into a particular situation, accepting that you're going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those mistakes are going to cost you, and you're going to have to, there's going to be a process for you to recover from that. So, it's really, it's not a pretty process whenever you're doing the work, and
Mm-hmm.
as you stated in the intro, um, God has just been so good. So he's just allowed me to be able to continue to persevere, and even through those times, periods, and seasons where I just didn't feel like it, and I just didn't do a whole lot. It was just me and him. I mean, it was a lot of, we did some crying. It was just, it looks the way it looks. It's
Yeah.
not pretty. You see everybody on social media and they're living their best life, but it takes work
Right.
to be able to just, sometimes just to show up. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes just showing up is that might be all you can do that day, because it takes a lot just to, it's a lot that goes on mentally, it's a lot that goes on emotionally, it's a lot that goes on socially. So, you know, just stay the course. That's really the only true advice that you can give someone, because you really don't know what they're going to face in their industry, in their business, or what their home life looks like, what their background and their experiences have been in the battles that they may be facing internally and also in business. So the only way to really advise, in my opinion, is to just help them stay the course. Just
Mm-hmm.
find a reason to get up and keep going every day. What else can you do? Because if you quit, you'll never get there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. If you quit, you'll
So
never get there. So you just have to keep going.
right, right. So hey there, Zmoovy Life family. We are excited to announce the launch of our brand new website. Explore everything Zmoovy Life has to offer, from our latest projects, exclusive content, and sneak peeks from our creative journey. It's just a click away. Whether you're a fan, a creator, or just curious, our website is designed just for you. Join our community, stay updated, and never miss a beat. Remember, it's all about progress. Day by day, see a better day. Zmoovy Life. We out. Within you starting your business, I know we talking about this. Would you advise anyone that to work on themselves during their business, or before you even start, work on yourselves before you even start your business?
The whole both. You're gonna have to work on yourself before you get started. That'll give you a head start. But just understand that, different scenarios and circumstances in life, they bring out different things about you. You'll continue to learn things about yourself. You'll respond in some situations in ways that you didn't even recognize that you could respond. And that could be positive
Mm,
and it could also be negative. So the self work is, I mean, I don't think that ever stops. I think we
mhm,
continue to learn and we continue to grow as we go through life. So, I mean, you may as well get started today if you haven't been working on yourself for sure. Yeah. Because
mhm.
you're going to have to do it now. You're going to have to do it later and later and later and later. So you may as well get started now. That's an absolute necessity.
Okay, okay. Talk about the moment of getting your first client in real estate.
That was a long time ago. Um, um, I didn't get the easy first client. I know that. I didn't it was I believe my first client, if I recall correctly, was like a cold call. It was I was
Mm,
calling through a community. The home appeared to have been vacant and I called the guy and he didn't call me back. I called
mm,
him, he did not call me back, and I wanna think I left a message, I sent something in the mail, and maybe 2 months later, he called me back, and he wanted to sell the home, and then we scheduled an appointment, and he didn't show up.
mm.
Imagine that, and I was so excited, but he didn't show up. But, he called me back again, he apologized, and, we ultimately, we got together and we were able to get the home listed and it sold. But, yeah, that was the first one.
Mhm. Dang. So you wanted to get up at that point, like when that happened?
Did I wanna give up? No, I didn't
Yeah.
wanna give up, but, it's disheartening. Anytime I think,
Mhm.
especially in sales, because you get so many no's, um, sometimes a yes will even catch you off guard. You already
Mm,
prepared to rebut the no, but then somebody says yes, then you almost don't know what to say. But it's always exciting to get a yes, because the no's they can be disheartening after a while, but you have to have kind of thick skin to be in this business, especially prospecting and trying to get clients in the beginning. So that can be kind of rough. But no, I didn't feel like I wanted to give up, but we had some rough days.
mm. So did that also builds up your confidence too when you hear them no's, right?
Well, I wouldn't say that it builds your confidence in the moment, but once you get to a yes, or
Mhm.
just the knowing. So the way I approach my days, and I didn't do this in the beginning, I do it more so now, um, is that I don't focus so much on what the response is. I just focus on me doing the work. So as
Mm,
long as I do what I'm supposed to do and I'm meeting my work goals, my action goals for the day, then I'm okay. Whether I got a no, whether I got a yes, it I kind of try to detach from the outcome and just focus on doing what I'm supposed to do, because I feel like ultimately if I continue to do that, then the results will come. But
mhm,
focusing on the responses and what people say, that can be disheartening in this business. If you're doing a whole lot of prospecting, it can definitely be disheartening. So I
okay.
had to, learn to not really focus, because if they don't need your service, they just don't need your service. If they don't want to work with you, they just don't want to work with you. I mean, it's
Mhm,
better to work with people who want to work with you anyway. So if you get a negative response or a no, just it's fine. It's just a part of the process.
mhm, mhm. But when did you get to a point where you started to understand that like it's okay for the no's, and if someone say no to you, like oh, say okay, I'm just gonna brush it off and then go to the next one. When did in your journey did you felt like okay, it's gonna be all right?
I think I sway back and forth with that. So you have to be very, I think, intentional about your mindset,
Mhm,
because quite naturally, whenever you're having these conversations and you're trying to progress in something and you're getting a lot of resistance, it's easy to fall back into the old mindset and be like, oh, this is not working, or you kind of get tired of it. So it's about being just kind of really intentional about it. So I
mhm,
might wake up today and I'm feeling good and I'm very intentional, and I might get a few yeses today, or maybe I'm still on a high from a few yeses yesterday. um and so it's a good day. But if I wake up tomorrow, I may have gone to bed late, and now I'm a little bit tired, my schedule's off, and I just don't feel as well, and I may not have the presence of mind to be as intentional. And so in those moments, it's easy for the old mindset to kind of creep back in. But I think, like, I have a written schedule for my day, and written things that I'm supposed to do throughout the day to kind of keep me present, so that my
Hmm.
mind doesn't, just kind of wander off and do its own thing. So I think it's important to do those things. But I think, you just have to be intentional, because anytime you just, if you're not intentional about it, your mind is going to, the process, the experience, just life in the day to day can kind of take you off course. So just being intentional about it and making sure that you reset and recenter, periodically, will keep you on track.
Okay. Okay. So how do you entwine the two together, real estate and your personal life?
Well, again, it's relationships, right? So some clients have become friends, and some friends have become clients.
Mm,
So you kind of, sometimes you want to let people know that it's a business, so that they don't take advantage of the access. But at the same time, because it's a relationship business, you do get friendly with people, and you get to know them as you're going through the process. You meet a mom, you meet a father, and you meet the children. You may even meet grandparents, and you talk about things, and you have things in common. You may go to the same church, or someone who works in a different industry that you've been in. I've done a lot with, like, military and stuff like that. So it's it the lines cross. They get
mhm,
blurred, because it crosses over. It's all like a big community. Some
mhm.
clients you get closer to than others, and that's okay
Right.
too. But at the end of the day, I just think it's important that no matter how friendly we are, this is still my work, right? This is my business. This is my livelihood. So we can laugh and chit chat and talk about different things. That's fine. But if we decide to work together, there's a process and a protocol for us to follow when we do that.
Right. 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 So now I want to ask you this question, but it's up to you to answer it or not. So, question I want to ask you, like, whenever you get a client and a client want to, like, play with your emotions a little bit, how do you go about that? It's up to you to answer. I just want to know, like,
Well, so again, it's a business, and so we do have conversations, and we talk about family and sometimes personal things. But especially with new clients, you want to set the precedent early, and set the tone for the transaction and the communication
okay,
early on in the process. So business hours, when can you contact me? Because as real estate agents, people will call you all day and all night if you let them. And so you have to kind of set boundaries for that. And I think, especially with new clients, people that you don't know, it's about just kind of vetting. Are they being serious? Are they really
hmm,
wanting to move forward, or did you just say you were interested in real estate so that we could have a conversation? Stuff like that. So just vetting where they are in the process, and once they start to move through the process, you can tell whether or not they're being serious. And
okay,
it may not, and
okay,
it's not even a situation where you have to cut that person off completely if they've not really crossed any boundaries. You just know that that's a client or a customer in this case that you would just need to nurture over a period of time, because just because they're not ready today doesn't necessarily mean that they will never be ready. They'll probably be ready at some point in the future. You just don't know when that'll be.
okay. All right. Um, where was the time where you wanted to just give up and throw away it all? Like you felt like real estate ain't for you no more.
um I don't, I got into real estate, like I said, back in 2016, and I did take a break from it just because I had so much on my plate. But I think the core of me always knew that I wanted to come back to real estate. So I can't say that I've ever had a moment where I just thought real estate just wasn't it for me. I've had moments where I just wasn't in a good place. And so maybe
Mm,
real estate wasn't going well for me in those moments, but it was less about real estate and more about me. And I think that's a lot of what we go through, and sometimes we might misidentify what the core of the issue is, but it wasn't the business, it wasn't the industry, it was just me. There were times when if I didn't have any clients, it was really just because I just wasn't doing any work. So, and a lot of that was based on, well, what was I going through at the time, because you still have life outside of business. You have family, you have other things, you may have other work or just different things that you're involved in. So I've never had a time when real estate where I just wanted to not be in real estate, but there are definitely just times when I had a lot going on within me and maybe around me, and I just wasn't in a good place personally.
okay. So this is something I'm dealing with right now, and it's going to form up to a question. I got to get over myself, and to the point where it's like thinking that I'm doing something good, but all in all, it's like I'm not really doing. If that makes sense, what I'm trying to say. So basically, what I'm trying to ask is like, where was a moment where it's like you got to get over yourself?
Every day. Every
Oh,
day, because sometimes, I mean, because you go through things, right? And you go and maybe you've been working on something and you feel like you've done enough, like you've done it. Why is this not doing what you feel it should be doing? Because you feel deserving of it at some point. But at the end of the day, it's if it's not working, do you deserve it? Maybe. But if it's not
hmm,
happening, why is it not happening? Can you identify why it's not happening? Could it just not be for you? Yeah. But could it be that there is an aspect of what you've been doing and focusing on is just not the core of what you should have been focusing on? Like you have not been focusing on those really, I guess, progressive and advancing activities,
hmm,
So, and we can start to feel sorry for ourselves. We can start to feel like, woe is me now. And, I just need to, why me? But why not you?
hmm,
So I just think, at this point in my life, I try to get a lesson out of it. Like we all gonna have those sour days and we have those moments, especially when things aren't going right. But um at the end of the day, I think if we're serving
hmm,
the industry or we're serving the customer and we are proficient and we are doing a good job, more than likely then we'll make some progress. It may not be overnight, but eventually. So I think just kind of being persistent and being excellent in what we're doing um, is the key to a lot of it. And that doesn't guarantee that you're going to reach the level of success that you're looking to achieve, but I think it puts us in a better position to be able to achieve that level of success. And um, sometimes, and I know for me personally, I haven't embraced process as much as I should have. I think over the years, as a younger person, I wanted to just kind of be there already. I just kind of wanted to arrive already. So I didn't embrace process. So I've done a lot of different things. I've started a lot of different things that I didn't finish. And now when I look back on it, I can kind of see, well, actually it wasn't going so bad. I just wanted it maybe a little more quickly than I should have. And had I stuck with it, it may have been a different outcome. But I think we have to embrace process and um, again, ensure that we are doing the best job that we can do in serving in whatever capacity that we're serving, whatever industry, whatever client base, or whatever. And I think that, along with just diligence and some smarts. You don't just want to work hard, you want to work smart as well. So utilizing the tools that are available to you, in the different industries that we work in. I think overall, again, it does not guarantee success, but I think you'll be better positioned to be able to achieve the some at least some level of success.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, have you ever heard the saying, another level, another devil?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, that's good. So, when in your career of real estate and where like, okay, this is a whole totally different level from when I first started, like my second year in business, my fifth year in business. And when did you know, like, okay, I got to change my mindset on things from this level, from that level, from this level, from that
Yeah, I think so probably what comes to mind is a lot of people, whenever we get started in real estate, we start out doing residential. So probably around the time I started looking more at working with more commercial clients.
level?
And you think that because you've done some business already and kind of got your mind wrapped around what you're doing, the process, and what to expect, the questions to ask, and all those things, you kind of feel like, well, you're going into this different side of real estate. Because you're in real estate, you feel like you know what you're doing, but it was a whole different animal, whole
Mm-hmm.
different animal, different questions. And then I think one of my first clients was kind of like a specialty property. So a whole lot of questions that I just did not know to ask up front. So again, relationships business. So it's important to just be able to have someone to go and ask those questions to kind of hold my hand as I went through that process. But that was probably the main thing in this particular industry that I faced.
Mm-hmm. When did you know you had to get a mentor?
Well, I came in wanting a mentor. So the
Oh, okay.
moment I completed the class and I took the test and I actually got my license, I went back and I asked the lady in the office at the time. I asked her, if I came to this office, would you teach me? Like, would you help me? And she agreed. And she's been one of the best mentors I've had.
All right. All right. Next question is, who was your biggest supporter in this journey, in your real estate journey?
Um, well, I think so. I come from a really close knit family. My family has always been my biggest support system. My mom, my dad, all my siblings, even my extended family, So my family has undoubtedly been my biggest support system in everything that I've done.
Okay, okay. Now this might be more so of a personal type of question. So it's dealing with how you want your legacy to look later on down the line.
How do I want my legacy to look? Um, hmm. Well, I think service is important, right? So
Hmm.
when you ask that question, what comes to my mind is I listened to uh it was Oprah Winfrey. She was talking about something that Maya Angelou had said to her when she was telling Maya about what she wanted her legacy to be. I think it was something about the school that she'd built in Africa, and she was just saying how this was going to be her legacy. And Maya responded by telling her something to the effect of, you have no idea what your legacy is going to be. Your legacy is every life that you've touched, every person that you've impacted on your life journey. So, um, in keeping with how important I think service is, I think that's just what I would want it to be based on. Just, I came, I served as best I could, and God called me home.
No, that's a good answer. I can't lie. That is a good answer. So we're going to get into our next segment. Have you ever watched the podcast or watched little snippets of it?
I watch snippets, yes.
Okay, okay. So you know a little bit about this segment then. All
Mm-hmm.
right, all right. So you like playing games?
I don't mind it.
All right, all right. So this segment is called Think Before You Speak.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we used to have a three-part question, well, three-part segment, but now we only have a two-part segment. So with this two-part segment, we had the rapid fire questions. So the rapid fire questions just basically is your favorite holiday, your favorite meal or so, and you just give you a reason why. Then we're gonna ask you a couple riddles. Now with the riddles, you just have to guess them. So with the rapid fire questions, here we
Okay.
go. The first one is favorite childhood moment.
Favorite childhood moment. Mm.
You got a
This
lot
supposed
of
to be
them. So
rapid fire, but what comes to mind is, I wasn't super young when this happened, but I was in a play when I was a
hmm
kid, and I just remember it was the first time because I'm really introverted and I've
hmm
always been shy. So I remember it was one of the first times that I was able to just kind of like overcome that fear of just being on stage and being the center of attention and having the focus on me. It felt freeing. So that comes to mind.
Okay. Okay. Favorite meal with sides.
Man, pasta with garlic bread.
Ooh, that is
Love
good.
pasta.
We talking about Alfredo or just
Yeah,
any
chicken
pasta?
alfredo. That's it. Chicken alfredo.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
spaghetti, but it's no chicken alfredo. That's the favorite.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Favorite quote.
Favorite quote? Um, I don't know if I have a favorite quote. Um,
Well, if you have one that come to mind, what one? Which would it be? Which one would it
well,
be?
I can't remember which scripture, which verse and book this is, but there's a scripture in the Bible that's something to the effect. I'm going to say it in my own words, but as the water reflects the face, so the life reflects the heart. And that's one of my favorite scriptures.
That's hard.
So how you can see your reflection in the water, you see you, and then whenever you live your life is a reflection of who you are and what you are inside.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that
I
one
think it's
up
in
tonight.
Proverbs. It's in Proverbs if I'm not mistaken, but I don't remember exactly which one.
But I like that one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up tonight. I got to. So now we're gonna get into riddles. Now, every time we do the riddles, everybody try to look up, look down, look left and right, trying to find the answer. But you just gonna have to think.
Hmm.
So, are you scared doing riddles? Let me ask you that first. Are you nervous doing riddles?
I don't think so. What do I
You
have to do?
you just have to answer. That's it.
Okay.
All right. So the first riddle is: what is seen in the middle of March and April that can't be seen at the beginning or end of either month?
Say it again.
What is seen in the middle of March and April that can't be seen at the beginning or end of either month?
R.
Oh wow. What gave it away?
I don't know. I was just like, I was thinking, like, well, what's in March and April? But riddles just came to mind.
That's good. One for one. Oh, wow. First person to ever do that. That I think. Wow. All right. Let's see you get this one. This belongs to you, but everyone else use it.
My phone number
That's a good answer, but that's not it though. I that's a good answer though.
belongs to me, but everyone else, my name.
Two for two. Wow. I should maybe thought about these. All right, let's see if we get this one. What can you catch but not throw?
A cold.
Dang man, I should.
I guess they're good riddles though.
You must heard these before or something.
No, I can't say I have, but I think I may have heard variations of them.
Right, right. All
Yeah.
right. So I always give a bonus one, like a classic. So this one is what has cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and water but no fish. I think we gotta.
Say it again.
What has cities but no houses, forests but no trees, water but no fish?
I don't know.
I think we got now.
Mm.
You three for three. So
I don't know that one.
mm, take a guess. I say take a guess.
Forest with no trees. Fish with no water. I really don't know that. I don't even have a guess.
It's pertaining to your business. I say that.
It's pertaining to my business.
It's pertaining to real estate. I'm not gonna say it, but it's pertaining to that's the hint I'm gonna give you.
I still don't know.
Mm,
I don't know.
let me read the question again. What has cities but no houses, forests with no trees, water but no fish? What is it? You got to use it every day, almost every day in your business. Mm,
I don't know. Everything comes to mind. It's just it doesn't fit everything that you're saying. I don't know.
you give up?
I give up.
All right.
What is it?
So let me read the question again and give you the answer. What has cities but no houses, forests but no trees, water but no fishes? The answer is a map.
Um, I wasn't even thinking in that direction.
What was your
That's
mind
good.
at?
I was like, land? It can't be land. Is it a community? But it's not. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking right. Yeah, that's a good one.
So that's 4 for 1. Well, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You did good. You did good.
not
Wow,
bad.
wow. Next time I'm gonna have to give you some hard riddles.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. So let's get into our next segment. Our next segment is called Word of Advice. So with this segment, it has two-part questions. So the first question is, what advice would you give anyone who's trying to pursue real estate? And the second one is, what advice would you give that 15-year-old girl out there that's trying to start in life?
Advice to give someone who's trying to pursue real estate would just be to get started. Get started and get a mentor and just, hit the ground running as quickly as you can. Time is not on our side. So, yeah. Um, 15-year-old girl who's getting started in life. Hmm.
Would you hold on? I'm sorry. Before I ain't mean to cut you off. I just want to ask: is that a good age? Would you say, or like, do you need like a different age?
15 years old girl. No, that's fine. Yeah,
That's fine.
that's
Okay.
okay. Because that's an age, that's an impressionable age. So I would tell her to, number one, just relax. Because we can get anxiety at 15 because we have so much life going on at 15, right? We have so much going on. So relax. Just relax because a lot of the things that you're concerned about today, a year from now, they're not really going to matter.
Mm,
So relax. I would want her to know that she's valuable and that her voice matters.
mm-hmm.
So speak up. if there's something on her mind, if there's something that she desires, if there's something that she's uncomfortable with, to use her voice, use her words, and to speak up for herself. Um, and know that, what she has to say matters. I would also tell her to work on her confidence, and the quicker she lets go of caring about what other people think about her, the better off she'll be.
Mm, that's some good advice. I'm not gonna lie. Mm. So now we on to our last segment. Our
Oh,
last segment is called "It's on You." So this segment is about, if you have any questions you want to ask me, I give you two. And if you want to give me any advice, you can give me any advice. So
okay.
it's on you.
It's on me.
It's on
I
you.
would like to know what inspired you to start the podcast.
That's a good question. Um, well, hmm, that is a good question. What really made me start it is because of the fact that now that I'm doing like documentaries and stuff for businesses and brands, and um I really just want to get the essence of people telling their story, having a platform where people just like me and you know, if it gets to the point eventually, if I interview a celebrity, yeah, or somebody that's famous or well known, yeah, I allow them to tell their story too. But people that's like, how can I put it, that's not famous or that's not a celebrity, tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
And me doing documentaries, it comes hand in hand with each other. So just just saying that, and I really catching the essence of storytelling, and want people to tell their story, because your story might matter to whoever out there that's trying to get in the field that you're in. So
Mm-hmm.
with you doing real estate, and there's somebody out there that needs some advice, that encouragement to push them in real estate. So that's the whole point of me starting a podcast.
That's good. Good. So, in starting the podcast, what were the major, I guess, things about you and how you operate, character traits about you, um, experiences in life, just things that you've been through that have shaped who you are? Based on those things, like what were the main things you had to overcome to be able to get on camera, get on the mic, and do the podcast?
Ooh, um, that I'm not good enough. If that makes sense, what I'm saying,
Hmm.
like, humble myself in a sense. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Humble myself, not trying to look at it as like, oh, I'm this person that, oh, I got a podcast now, I'm big headed now. Nah, like, humble yourself. Like, just because you have a podcast and you doing all these things, still humble yourself. Cause I believe that when you humble yourself in your journey, and it's like, okay, if you get like a big opportunity, you're not gonna look at the opportunity like, okay, I got this opportunity now, I could stop. Nah, you got to keep going within your journey. Like you
Hmm.
said, within like serving, and like you got to continue to keep serving for the people. And so I had to get over that. And what else I had to say to get off of? The fear of, like, another reason why I say doing this podcast, to answer that first question, is I want to build a community behind what I do. And so people can actually, whenever you want to book a services with me, whether it's doing a documentary or doing photography work, and it builds trust. You see me on camera, you know what my brand is about, Smooth for Life. You know what it's about, and seeing me, like, that builds trust. So that's why I say that. What else I had to come over is my fear. um I was always nervous getting on camera for some reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes I always stutter with my words sometimes, but the more and more I kept doing it, like it's almost like getting your reps in. If you ever played a sport or so, like you got to get your reps in. So the more and more I kept doing it, it just built confidence. And I had to give over speaking as well.
Mhm.
Like me doing this, it allows me to talk to people more, have conversations with people more. So whenever I get off this, whenever there's like a, let's say for instance, event or so that's going on, um, I can go up to somebody now and be more confident in myself to actually have a
Mhm.
conversation with them now. So um I'm looking at this like in a way of helping myself, for instance. I was always a shy person. I'm not gonna lie. I was always shy. I was scared to speak up for myself, scared to talk to people, scared to do this to do that. But whenever I start doing this podcast, I get more confident in myself to speak to people. Because when you're a host,
Yeah.
you got to talk. You got to.
You're
You
right.
can't just because if I was just to, you know, start doing this podcast and the intro that I say is all right, welcome back to another episode of Smooth Like Podcast. If I just do that and just came up here, it's like, all right, the guest,
Hmm.
state your names, where you say where you from, and do all that. It's like, nah, like you the host, like host. So
Yeah.
yeah, I had to come over a lot of stuff, I would say.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'll say that you're actually inspiring me this evening, and I was excited yet nervous, but excited to come and do the podcast because being on camera and also being on the mic is not a comfortable thing for me either. But some of the things that I'm looking to do will require me to do both of those things. So I do appreciate the opportunity just to be on here and to hear you give that feedback. That's inspiring. I have one last question.
Okay.
So the people didn't see this, but we started the podcast off with a prayer. And that put me at ease because, that's important to me. So I would like to know, how does faith show up in what you do in the
Oh,
podcast and even, just in life in general?
is how does faith show up? What I
Hmm.
do within this podcast? That's the question. um, wow. That is I never got this question before, so I don't even know how to like even actually answer. I maybe should have prepared myself. um, I would say how does faith show up for me? I would say that um this basically, you know, I wouldn't even know how to answer this question for real, for
Well,
real.
so maybe I'll ask it a different way. So do
Okay.
you feel like doing the podcast and providing a platform for people who may have otherwise, who their stories may have otherwise gone untold or their voices may have gone unheard, do you think that's something that God may have specifically assigned to you through this podcast?
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Yes, because of the fact that like I said before, you don't get people like us to get a chance to tell their story. And me giving a platform for people like us to tell their story, it's more so it's inspired to me as well because I always wanted to have a podcast, always wanted to do something like this. And
Mhm.
man, like I don't know. This is a part of a ministry to me, I would say. Um, because it's a part of serving, allowing people, like I say, allowing people to tell their story. And the times that we getting in today,
Mhm.
times ain't getting no easier. And you know, dealing with AI and you know, a lot of people don't want to deal with anything fake as well.
Mhm.
So the fact that people could come up here and because you can't lie about your story. Like if you do, then that's totally up to you. But I hope you don't lie about your story. But
Mhm.
people want to see, like, let me ask you, would you like to see somebody tell their story and be authentic telling their story?
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, that's the whole purpose of doing this podcast. And I really want to go back and answer that question that you asked me. Dealing with faith. And I want to say just getting up and, the whole process of it, man, just of the fact that, like, I reached out to you, and I'm not good with, and I'll be honest, I'm not good with no's sometimes, but I'm getting there though. I would say that. So
Mm,
if you would have told me no, I would have been fine, and I would have been like, okay, I have to go on to the next person and ask them would they like to be interviewed or telling their story, and but the faith that comes into that, and I would say, um, man, I get excited just talking about this now. But the faith that comes into it, and I don't know why my mind keep going blank. I hope that did I answer your other question though.
you did. Yeah, you did.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. You want to ask me any more questions?
Um, so yeah, last one. This will be the last question. So, based on the vision that you had when you got started and the experience that you've had doing the podcast thus far,
Hmm.
where do you see this going? Like, where do you want to take the podcast? What's the future of Smooth Life Podcast? What does that look like?
Well, I want to have an actual studio where I can invite people to the studio and interview people there. Not only that, like, have stages where how some people have this podcasts and they be having like a big stage
Hmm.
where or an event or so, and they doing their podcast during that event. I want to get to that point, and but the main purpose and point I want to get to is like allowing people, like I said, to tell their story within on this podcast. And um, I can't tell you how many episodes I want to do or so, but man, that's basically the vision. Getting as much as people on here to tell their story, comfortable
Good.
telling their
That's
story.
good. That's good. That's good. Well, I'm sure, we had a long conversation here tonight, but with all the hard work, all the dedication, commitment, keeping God first, you'll be able to do everything that you set out to do.
Okay. Oh, that was the advice, or
Oh, I'm supposed to give you advice. Oh, let's see. What would I advise you? So I think that would be a good bit of the advice. To continue to reach out to people, continue to make those connections, and let people know what you want to do. I know one thing for me over the years, I haven't been vocal about the things that I wanted to do and sharing my ideas or my vision or my the desires about the things that I wanted to do. And I think sometimes, we keep them a little bit too close. And when we
hmm
don't share, then people don't know that they can assist us or that they can pour into us. So for what you're doing, I think just being very open about who you want to interview, where you want the podcast to go, and allowing people to be able to know and so that they can step in and pour into you as you go forward and as you grow and get bigger, because you'll come into contact with people who know other people who know other people who know other people. So that person that you want on the podcast, they may not know you, but they may know somebody who knows you, who knows you, who knows you, you know So it may
Mm-hmm.
be three levels in between you and that person, but just because this person here, who you were honest with and who you treated with dignity and respect, because you know that person and that person respects you and knows what type of person you are, they'll put in that word for you, and it'll eventually get to where it needs to be for that person to circle back to you. And, I think God orchestrates all of this stuff. So whatever it is, the vision that you have here, I ultimately do believe you keep God first and you keep working hard, it'll all come to pass.
Thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you. Um, I want to go back now to answer that question. Now,
Okay.
so the question was, say the question again.
How does faith show up in what you do on the podcast?
How does faith show up when I do in the podcast? Um, this is creating an opportunity for me. I hope that's that's kind of the answer. Or you want to hear my answer?
Well, whatever you want to share. Yeah,
Okay.
just whatever you
All
want to
right.
share.
Yes, that's what I would say. That's how faithful shows up, creating opportunity. Like, so, for instance, if I don't have a client that want to book for a documentary or for photography services, right? I can do this, and me doing this had me started to think about COVID, because with COVID, everybody was losing their jobs one by
Hmm.
one by one. So this is creating opportunity for me to interview, like I said, interview people to tell their story and all. And eventually it can get to the point um you can get paid doing this, monetize. And now everybody, I don't care what nobody say, everybody wants to get paid and all, but that's not, if I do get paid, that's good, but that's not like the reason that's pushing me. And
Hmm.
I know that if somebody looking for a job or so, they can help me out with the podcast. So, or if somebody want me to speak on their platform because they saw me speaking on my podcast, that's what creating opportunity is all about. So for anybody, advise anyone out there, like business or anything you trying to pursue in life, like you got to create opportunities for yourself. Like I can't sit around just wait for opportunity to be handed to me.
Hmm.
And so doing this podcast, it gives me purpose. It gives me more life to keep on creating and allow people to tell their story. So I hope
Good.
that's a good answer.
That's a good answer. That is a good answer. That's a good answer. Yes. Good.
All right. All right. So you don't have no more questions for me? If you
No, I
do,
think
I
that's it.
you sure?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's revert back to that same question you just asked me, and I want to hear your answer.
How does faith show up in my business?
Hmm.
So I think it's just all about serving. So I think you know, a lot of the goals that I have are intertwined into what I do, because I do it's important to me to serve and to just do a good job no matter what I'm doing. It doesn't really matter. But I think, just being a servant is I think that's what we're all called to do, no matter what industry we're in. So being as excellent as possible as we go throughout that journey and that process in our respective industries. I think that's a part of it, because so specifically with real estate, a lot of the goals that I have and things that I want to do are intertwined, and I can see myself in a lot of my clients, right? Because they're like, I work with a lot of investors. That's something that I aspire to do more, and not just so that I can make money and do whatever I want to do with my life, but I want to help. I want to be able to help people more, because I see so much need in the world. And I think that we're supposed to be able to meet need whenever we see it. And I'd like to be able to do more of that.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. And like, how can I say? That gives me more purpose. Like just you saying that, I want to add on. It's like, um, giving people hope and inspiring and motivating people to hear other people's story. Like I know
Yeah.
for sure, like, cause let's say this for instance, whenever you watch somebody podcast or somebody just being interviewed in general, you get inspired and you get motivated hearing their
Mhm.
story. And so just the fact that like allowing people or getting people that's like us, that's like, I don't want to say normal. Would you say normal? Like if you're not a
I
celebrity
think,
or
yeah,
famous?
just like the person next door, everyday people.
Okay, everyday. Yeah, let's say that everyday people, and like that doesn't have. I'm not pocket watching or counting anyone bank accounts that don't have like $1 million, or that's not this plan that they do have that. Like you hear some NFL players they be like offering these deals and all. They have you see like they getting millions and millions and millions, and like some people don't might not know what that looks like, and
Yeah.
but when you hear everyday people, just telling their story, you might get inspired and you
Yeah.
might get up and start that business. You might get up and there was something that you wanted to do that you like, you know what, I'm gonna hold off. But soon as you hear somebody's story, you're like, you know what, I gotta get to it and I gotta get to it
Yeah.
right now. So yeah, just giving people hope and inspiration to let them know like whatever you doing out there or you want to do or pursue, like listen to the podcast, hear
Yeah.
that person's story, and get inspired and get up and do it. And
And do it.
to let you know that, like, look, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be long. It's
That's
gonna
right.
be some days that you might cry your eyes out, but hey, you got to keep going. You got to.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, tell the people where they can follow you.
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, Deona Adams, Instagram, Deona Adams. I have a YouTube channel, y'all, but there's nothing out there. But it's Deona Adams. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, okay. What was your first? Well, what is your first impression like of the podcast? What you say?
Well, I've seen some of the content already, so I think it's good. I like that it's like kind of laid back in the questions that you ask, and just kind of it's not so much it's about the business, but you also ask about the person behind the business. And that's what I appreciate, because a lot of times, like, you see these businesses and you see the brand, but it's important to understand, what did it take for this brand to get there? What did this person sacrifice to get this brand to where it is? There's a person or a team behind the brand. And before you even got the team in place, it was probably just an individual, maybe two,
Mm-hmm.
that were sacrificing, and they were in the trenches trying to get this thing to where it is today. So I really appreciate that part of it. You don't just focus on the business, you focus on the people as well, and that's really the most important aspect of everything we do.
I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate it because man, I never thought like somebody actually see what I'm trying to do, for real. Like
Mhm.
the vision, because you can tell somebody your vision, but the fact that like somebody actually see what you're trying to do is
Yeah.
much appreciated.
It's important because I was having this conversation with someone maybe a week ago. I think, and this is like, my faith talking again. I think one of the things that the enemy would do to us is he try to keep us quiet. He try to silence us, and the less we talk, the less we know what we have in common. So sometimes you can be in a room full of people and you think you're the only person struggling with a thing, when the truth is, if you would say what you're going through, there are probably 50 other people in that room who are struggling with the same thing. But because we
That's
stay
good.
quiet, because we stay silent, we don't know, and we can't draw strength and support and comfort from each other, because we don't know what each other is going through, and we're not saying it because we may be embarrassed, we may be afraid, we may feel like we're the only one, we feel isolated. And I think that in and of itself is just an attack of the enemy. So I just believe that we need platforms like yours, um, to allow us to be able to share the journey, to talk, to just have that exposure so that other people can draw inspiration from what we do. We draw inspiration from each other.
Mm, that's good. I like that. Now I know you was nervous in the
Mm.
beginning when I me reaching out to you and telling you like, would you like to be interviewed? And but the fact that like now that we getting close to the end of it, and did it give you purpose? And like telling your story of your business and telling your story just about you.
Yeah, it has, because the nervousness really comes from, you really don't know what questions are going to be asked. Are you going to be able, like, are you going to draw a blank? Are you going to be able to answer the questions? And I think sometimes we're more prepared than we think, because we've gone through things and we've done some of the work already. So there is a level of preparation that may be there that we just don't know is there. And I think this is probably just so on time, because I'm at a point where I'm uh revamping some of what I'm doing in life and in business. So this is just another step out of the comfort zone for me, so towards what I'm looking to do. So and then again, before we got on, you opened up with the prayer, so that put me at ease as well. So that was good.
That's good. I always try to open up with a prayer because we all need Jesus. I don't care
Oh
who it
yes,
is,
that's right.
especially in business. We need Jesus.
We need them.
We
Yes.
need him. We need him. All right, all right. If everything, how does the saying go? If every mind and heart is clear,
Our
something
hearts and
like that.
minds clear. Yeah.
Yeah, we is good.
Yeah.
So, before we leave, I always have a saying. I don't know if you've seen like at the end of the podcast the saying, and but now that I do now is I have people help me say the saying as well, and we have to be in sync to say the saying.
Okay.
So the saying is, and I'm gonna give you a chance to practice too. The saying is, day by day to see a better day, smooth for life. We out.
Day by day to see a better day. Smooth for life. We out.
That's it.
Okay.
All right, all right. I'm gonna give you a chance. Go ahead and practice it. I'm gonna give you a
Day
chance.
by day to see a better day. Smooth for life. We out.
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
So we just gotta sing and sing.
All right.
All right, you ready? All right. One, two, three. Day by
Day
day
by day to
to
see
see
a
a
better
better,
day.
better day, smooth for
Smooth
life.
for life.
We
We
out.
out.
All right.